Yeah, let's see if he can pull me into a rate fight here. Pre-nose. Looks like I've got... Hawk doesn't seem to be doing too good in atmosphere.
Not at all.
Pre-nose again. Get more guns on target. Oh. Get his shields down. Looks like we're pretty close to a rate limit here. Ballistics. There.
Oh.
Yeah. Welcome back, everybody, to another video. Today we're taking a look at the importance of atmospheric flight in specific here, and how the pre-nosing and just kind of getting into the slot right now is very, very important, right? So in this fight we have a Hawk. Now the Hawk has a slightly lower rate than the arrow, so you'll see here where the advantage to the arrow comes from. But I want you to take special notice onto my positioning during this fight. You'll see here, I might be taking some shots here, but shields are going to do their best to block that out. But you'll notice I had pre-nose just a little bit here to kind of get myself into a better position. Now, once I have the advantage of the actual, the actual nose position, I'm getting shots on him and he's still trying to rate back onto me. And if I want to force myself into a better position, what I'm going to do is I'm going to slowly push forward, right? Not too much throttle, just a little bit so I don't slide out of the corner. I want to keep a nice tight circle. Is the tighter circle I have, you can see here, the longer it takes for the enemy Hawk to kind of get himself barely back in position. Here he's starting to fire, but it's a little bit too late, and boom, I've got the kill, right? Now that fight in its entirety, the reason why that fight went so bad for the Hawk is because he let me get too close, stay too tight on the rate. His only real option at that point would be to create some kind of extension or to slow down even more to get the circle even tighter to kind of get yourself back into a turn, right? It's the same thing with this Vanguard here that we had also noticed had come after us during the river, right? So same thing as the Hawk, right? I come in, I pre-nose, I give up some target time at the beginning to gain a positional advantage. And at this point, the Vanguard's real only choice here is if he doesn't have a tail gunner, which he should have a tail gunner. If he doesn't have one, he's really only got two options. One, gain altitude and gain it fast, or create an extension like he just tried there, but then he kind of is, at the mercy of me picking up on that and closing the distance again like you see here. And all my strafe inputs, right? Like I want to apply the minimal amount of strafe inputs that I necessarily need. I just want to have a little bit of strafe input, boom, there's the kill, to get myself into a better position and just kind of keep on putting the damage in. When it comes to atmospheric dogfights, it's all about position. In space, it's a little different. In space, 99% of the time, we're going to be nose to nose, and then it really comes down to a dance of, the ship's jerk profile, which means how fast can it articulate its nose into a new position and kind of keep tracking the enemy target. The idea in space is you're always in front of your enemy, but it's always about making S-turns and making positional changes at a fast enough rate where you're hitting and he's missing. But in atmosphere, it's kind of everything's flipped upside down on its head. It's much less about kind of nose-to-nose fighting, and it's much more about range, distance control, and gaining some kind of positional advantage, right? And this can be achieved, as you see here, by always making sure that the direction that you're pulling in, you're using the biggest section of your control surface, right? So the arrow here, we're pitching into our turn nice and hard, right? We're keeping our distance a little bit low. We're only about 95 meters per second, so we're not too fast. Once we've got the spot, boom, I'm within 180 meters. Let the ballistics go and put it all on the cockpit, and boom, there's the kill. But you got to get close. You've got to gain that positional advantage, and you do that by pre-nosing and keeping in the back of your head that you're always trying to force yourself into those positions. Stuff like the Arrow, the Gladius, like these fighters are rate fighters in the sense that they want to get close and they want to get out of your turn rate. Fighters like the Vanguard, they're not going to win raid fights. You know, so if you're going to fly the Vanguard, you got to understand what the ship's strengths are. Typically, the Vanguard is much better at high altitude. The higher the energy, the higher the speed, the more the Vanguard has an opportunity to kind of flip the fight back to a nose-to-nose fight, which the Vanguard does very well at. And if you're missing a tail gunner in situations like this, where like we see here, you know, once you've got somebody on you, it's really difficult to apply any pressure, you know. It doesn't matter how much shields you have, you know, if those shields are, you know, it just takes a few minutes to kind of knock them down, or you see here, even a few seconds, you know, 2 size 2 shields, they don't do too good, you know, because it's just a matter of time, because you can't return fire, you can't really protect yourself. So in a single, you know, in a single fight like this, where it's one ship versus another, you know, the advantage goes to the more maneuverable fighter by a long mile, right? Now we can argue that you know, having multiple Vanguards with different covering arcs might be a totally different story, right? But you want to keep the Vanguard at high energy. You don't want to slow down and get into raid fights with the Vanguard unless you have absolutely no other choice. You want to come in, take a run, get some distance, get them to chase you, and then use your tail gunner to apply pressure and just kind of keep taking jousting runs essentially and picking targets. Now if you have multiple Vanguards, you can joust together as a crew and kind of come in with an overwhelming amount of firepower, pick a target, blast it, and then move on, right? These kinds of tactics are really interesting, and I can't wait to start testing some of these things. Remember guys, that rate and position equals distance and kills. It's just that simple, right? Get close, get under their guns, and apply the damage slowly and surely. Especially in a 1v1 situation. When it comes to multiple targets, the tactics change, but you want to understand the basic mechanics. What are your strengths? What are their strengths? And where can you be most effective? Guys, that's all I got for you today. I am on vacation. I am currently, you know, probably sailing on a boat at the moment, spending time with the sharks and the manta rays out in the Bahamas for a much needed disconnect. And I gotta say guys, it's been some of the most wild 6-7 months of my life. I remember when I started this, I was so passionate. I still am. I'm so excited to see where Star Citizen goes, and I'm really excited with the kind of community that we're building here on the channel, on Twitch, and everything. Not everybody is going to like what we do, and there's always going to be haters no matter what you do or where you go. But it's hard to explain how much excitement I get when it comes to producing this kind of stuff, and it's exciting to think about where we're going to go from here. I wish I could put it into words, guys, but it's one hell of a journey, and I gotta say, for all the love and support that I've gotten from everybody here on the YouTube and also on Twitch, I just wanted to say thank you. I couldn't do this without you guys. And I truly, genuinely hope that the content that I'm putting out makes you laugh, inspires you to be better, and makes you a little better at the game that we all love. That's all I got for you today, guys. Take a look at Predator mounts if you're interested in getting a mounting system for your joysticks. They're the ones I use. I find them to be absolutely fantastic. And feel free anytime to jump on our Discord and say hi to us on Twitch. I wish you a very great day, and I hope to see you all soon. I was AvengerOne. And I'll see you next time.